Relax. Breathe. Unwind. Don't worry, I'm a doctor. You'll be safe in my trained medical hands. Rest. Rejuvenate. Live. Laugh. Love. Read. Add. Subtract. Multiply. And divide.
Johnson, I need a penis enlargement.
Let me see.
Do you need what? Horse, watch out.
When you're a British combat medic in the early 1800s, your job is filled with men begging you to touch them. Some have a difficult time getting through it, but not me. I like men. Anyways, my name is Dr. Slammmjohnson, and it was my job to make sure His Majesty's Royal Infantry were in tip-top medical shape before, during, and after every battle. This is my story about that day on the front lines against those arrogant, wine-drinking French baguettes. After a long and slow journey, I was finally able to make it up to the action, but almost immediately my fear was wiped away, as I was overtaken with joy after hearing the song of our proud nation. But the joy didn't last. That beautiful man was killed, and I didn't quite realize how chaotic the front line would actually be.
Realistic kiss. Now ain't I right?
I tried to suck in my feelings and tend to all the hot men in red as I possibly could. At some point, though, the sound of war was beginning to get into my head, and I started to crack.
Make it stop! Make it stop!
My mind was playing tricks on me, and out of nowhere, I was suddenly and shockingly alone. What? Oh. Where did... What? Once I finally awoke from that fever dream and came to my senses, I found two men who needed professional examining.
Hello, I'm a doctor. Do you need examining? Do you need examining?
Yeah, I'll take an exam.
Alright.
How much is it gonna cost me? Whoa.
Just a shekel.
Whoa, Doc. You need me to cough or something?
Yeah, give me... Cough
Ah!
now.
Ah!
Alright. Well, you seem... Well...
I wanted penis enlargement too. Where's mine?
You seem alright.
Good?
Well,
Okay.
there's a...
Well,
What's
I'm gonna stick with it's alright.
the lump in your pants
Actually,
is...
I'd rather not know.
No!
Alright.
Johnson, I need a penis enlargement.
Let me just make an incision here.
Please, I surrender.
Oh,
I
do you regret your
I
decision?
surrender. Please,
My incision?
Eventually, Lieutenant O'Regan broke up my shekel side hustle and ordered us back to the front lines.
Right, men, no more dilly-dallying. Let's move to the front lines. Let's go. Let's
Hey,
go.
wait. He just needs
How'd you
one
know
more,
that's what we were doing?
one more tuck.
Do not mind this syphilis.
Okay.
He will die in battle anyway. Let's go.
Husk, you're all set.
Thank
Surgery
you, I feel
went
much
well.
better.
Charge without any intent to live. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'm new here, so I just follow orders.
I can smell him already.
Who's that?
Them?
It was a disaster. Husk, Eric 10, and Lieutenant O'Regan were dead or severely injured, and I had a hard time surviving myself. But before I knew it, wouldn't you know, Husk and O'Regan were back at the front. O'Regan needed a bit of patching up, but I was more than pleased to put my hands all over that sexy Brit. Soon other men needed my warm affection, and I did what I could to make sure they were satisfied.
Let me take a look at that, Felix.
Very well done.
Let me
Very
just
well done.
reload. Okay.
Advance on the infantry.
However, soon a dirty French cavalryman slipped through our ranks and gave me a saber slash I'll never forget.
Horse, watch out. Oh no, the dog. Oh my god.
I soon awoke and realized I was patched up by the other doctors, thank Jeebus. While healing the next attractive red that I came across, the presumed dead Eric 10 showed back up and changed my life forever with his wisdom.
Life has a lot to offer. Don't just die.
I would remember those words during the last moments of the battle, as nowhere seemed to be safe. The enemy cannons were zeroed in, and we Brits had to run for our lives, as our reinforcements had been spent.
Oh dear God.
Holy Jesus!
I remembered Eric 10's words.
Life has a lot to offer. Don't just die.
I thought to myself, maybe I could help lead a last stand and change the tide of the battle, because I would like to live and go on to have a life, because life does have a lot to offer, and death is the easy, cowardly way out. I'm gonna make a last stand. Hold with me. Charge!
Oh dear God.
As I laid there bleeding out from that bayonet, I watched in horror as my comrades were cut down by those dirty Frenchies. If you're hearing this, then I somehow survived to tell my tale. The only advice I can tell you now is something an old buddy of mine told me long, long ago.
Life has a lot to offer. Don't just die.